We've been doing some cleaning up and organizing and that sort of thing. So as we were unpacking, we had all the things on this table and it got a little dusty and a little dried out looking. So I had to take the time to polish it and put some oil on it, kind of like you do your skin. Ooh, let me check before I say that. Hi, Roomies. It's Roma. And we've been doing some cleaning up and organizing and that sort of thing around the house, as you know. And the dining room is done-ish. So I thought we'd take some time and just do a summer decorating sort of video and just go through some different options of things that I've been thinking of to just restyle some areas in the house. Since we're trying to bring in some new energy and some things are kind of moved around and stuff was in boxes. I mean, the dining room was giving a yard sale. It was quite interesting to see. I had no idea I had so many things. And I kind of like that I have so many things, don't get me wrong. It's nice to be able to have choices of things to sort of move around the house and see what I like and that sort of thing, to give me options and just see what works and what doesn't work, or what might look nicer on the coffee table or the dining room table or different areas around the house that we may not have had before. And so it's nice to have all these other options of things to sort of see, and then it feels new. It feels like you've shopped and bought new things just because it's in a new area. So what I thought I'd do first is show you the OG way of how the dining room table was set up. Show you the OG style of what we had in the other house, and then sort of move some things around and see how we could style things a little differently. And then as you watch the video, if there's one that you like more than the other, or if you don't like any of it, I would love to hear your comments and maybe see if we could play around and add some different things and see what else we've got. So let's see how it turns out. This is the OG style. And this is what we had at the other house. I was trying not to get used to that, but I do like it. I bought these bowls specifically for the dining room table, but I thought it would be fun, since everything is sort of out and about and nothing's really in its place, to sort of see what would be nice if we sort of switch things around. And again, like I said, it just feels like I'm shopping in my house and shopping for new things. And then it feels like everything's brand new and something new and different. So let's take these off. I just kind of moved the chairs out and about to get around the table a little easier for me. And so we'll take these off and then I'll restyle a couple things and we'll see how it turns out. What I always try to remember is one of those practice makes perfect, practice makes perfect. And so I think when I do styling like this, it's just play. And so there's no right or wrong. It's just what you like or what feels comfortable or what you feel looks good to you. And so I'm gonna have a couple things. I have a bunch of tables sort of set up, but I have some pieces that I've sort of pulled out of those just to see what I might like. And then I'll zoom them in here and then we'll see what works and what doesn't work and play around with that. Again, it's just play. There's no right or wrong. There's no like, whatever. It's just you put it down there and see how it works. And if it doesn't work, then you move on to the new thing. It's just like trying on clothes. You go to the store, you put on a pair of jeans, you go, oh, this makes my butt look big. And if it's a bad big, then you change and get a different pair. But if it's a good big, you leave it how it is. So we're going to do that. We're going to find the jeans and put them on and see how it fits. Ooh. Ah. Get closer so you can see the deets, see the details. As I was thinking of this, I was kind of wishing I had 3 of these, but then I was like, nope. What else can you do? How can you make it so it's not just 3 different objects, basically the same, but 3 different bowls? Ta-da! So it's done. I know everyone in the room is surprised that I went a little more minimalist, but honestly, for my dining room, I kind of like that, where the focus is mostly on the furniture itself, because I'm really still proud of this table and chairs, and I really like the focus of the energy to be on the furniture itself. And so I try to pretend that I'm a minimalist in my head, but I like stuff. I mean, we all know I like stuff. But in here, I thought I'd go a little more simple and minimal just to keep it where, again, the focus is more on the furniture. So these vases in our other house were on top of a couple of lights that I do have in here that'll probably stay in here. But I moved them off of there just to give those lamps a different look. So they will be somewhere else in the house. But I thought I'd try them on here simply because the scale of the table is so big and these are also so big. I think it sort of balances each other out. I think sometimes if the scale of the table had have been a little smaller, something this large on the table would look ridiculous. And some of you may still think it looks ridiculous, but I like it. So I think that works because the scale and the proportion are so large. I think it works together. The other thing that I used from bringing in this bowl, this is from, I think I got this at Home Goods. Actually, my mom bought this for me at Home Goods as a housewarming present for our first house that we bought. Not the one we just moved from, but our first house when we first moved to Vegas. She and I went to Home Goods and she bought this for me. And I put this here because the tones of the vases and the tones of the bowl are similar. And it kind of has this muddled, sort of varied neutrals, kind of like the varied neutrals in the vase. And so I thought those two would work well together. And then just to balance it, I just put the other vase that I had that was the same at the other end to sort of balance it out. So that, to me, that works. The other thing I tried to do is step back and look at how it's balanced on the table. So it does like it's a little off, so I would probably slide this one over a little bit. So the thing I do also like about this table is the plinths on the bottom of the table, the big blocks of wood. I sort of use those as a guide for styling or for balance, because I can look in between the blocks of wood to see where everything is laid out, either from the floor or on top. And then I can tell if I need to move it over a little bit or move it back. So when you're practicing your styling at home and you're done with it, always take the time to step back away from it and take a look at it and see if it's spaced evenly enough or whatever. Especially if you're gonna take a picture and post it to Instagram. I edit pictures a lot before I post them. I try not to post anything that doesn't look finished. I won't say perfect, but if it doesn't look finished, I try not to post it just because that's just me. And so I really like to look at things and make sure they're balanced before I do that. And so that's why I sort of step back and take a look at it. Now, is this exactly how it might stay? It might. Or we'll try something else and see how that looks. So no, that was fast and kind of minimal. But I just wanted to just play around and see what I would like differently. That may not be how it stays. It may be how it stays. But it's nice to see what other options you may not have thought of, especially since now things are sort of not in the perfect place or not in the place that we think we're going to leave everything. Just see what else you come up with. And, the reason I played around with it is it was just junky at first. We had been moving, like I said, and all of the styling things I had on the table, and there were some things that I was going to sell on Facebook Marketplace and stuff I sort of donated because I just have too many things, even though I like things. We don't have storage for it in this house. Plus, they weren't serving me a purpose, and I wasn't enjoying those things. And so it was kind of nice to donate those or sell those things and get some money from them and give them a new home to someone else that was going to appreciate them. And, for them, that makes, good memories. It's just like if I'm shopping at a yard sale or whatever, or find some steal on Facebook Marketplace, I can then go talk about it. And I think when you add those things to your space, it gives you memories. And so one of the things I think I try to still do is design my rooms or have pieces in the room that evoke memory. And so the dining room table for us, to me, it evokes a sense of family and gathering together and having those nice holidays and those big dinners and things together. Do I need a dining room table for 16 people? No. But when we had our first Thanksgiving at our other house, it was full. And that was the idea of having those memories of just our family together, sharing with each other and spending time together. When I first got this table, they delivered it and it was damaged. They took it apart and the top of it started to crack. And so they had to come back and pick it up. And I was concerned because, of course, the house was done. And I was like, hey, we're going to have Thanksgiving at my house. And it was the first, big holiday dinner I'd had at my house. And then they were saying, well, we're going to take the table. And I was scared it wasn't going to come back in time for us to have the dinner there. And it showed up. And I think it was 5 days before Thanksgiving. We were able to have it and still have our dinner. And would that have been the end of the world? No. It again just would have been a different memory of us doing things together, and we would have made it work. I mean, we had folding tables, or I would have rented tables or figured it out and made it work. But again, it just adds to those memories of, just other stories to tell. And I really think in the grand scheme of things, the things are nice. Don't get me wrong. I am very grateful and thankful for the nice things that we do have in our home. But the house is not about the pretty table or the huge plushy sofa and all of those things. It's about the memories. It's about making a home that when you come home from vacation, you still feel like you're on vacation. Or when you have friends that come to visit you from out of town, they feel like they're on vacation. Or they feel like you've taken the time to think about them and making their room nice and those sorts of things where you've, again, are making different memories because you're touching different places in your heart or in your mind about certain things. I have things throughout the house that when people come and stay, if those things I purchased when we were together at one time, shopping or on vacation or visit, when they come to visit, I make sure to have those little items in the room to just remind them of a time that we spent together. And so that's what your home should be. It's not about the pretty things and the perfect sofa and making sure that everything's all neat and tidy. There is an aspect of that, but I think when your focus is just that, you lose what it's really all about. And for me, it's the coziness and the memories and making those things last and figuring out ways to keep creating those over and over and over. That's what it's all about. Well, Roomies, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it was a different one, and we'll continue to do styling videos like this. I think they're fun. And it gives us more chances to sort of practice that and show different angles and different things. And as we're still going through the house and getting things together, it gives you a little sneak peek and a preview of things that are going on. I did buy a new rug for the piano room, and so you'll be seeing that. And just moving things around the house to see what different sort of, I guess, breath or different feel or energy that we can find in different spaces. I think I got into the habit of just seeing things in certain ways. And so again, this just gives me a different way to kind of look at things. And I think you should try that at home too. If there's ever a time where you're feeling like, what is missing from my house, or what is missing from this room, or what can I do to make this space look different or feel better? Again, it's not about the things you buy. It's about having a different sort of view on the things that you already have. And so take some time to maybe rearrange those things and figure out if, move some of the things that you might have in a different room into the room downstairs. Or if you have a loft space, maybe swapping the things you have in your living room area into the loft space, or reverse, or changing things in maybe in the bedroom. If you have another room in your house, or you have other furniture pieces throughout the house, just kind of move those things around and see what other feeling you get from those. And so that's what I thought we'd do today. So take the time to do that and love on each other. And as always, I look forward to creating with you.